Bro, are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I hope you fall. Okay, finally, it is Q&A time. The reason that most of you guys probably clicked on this video, I'm here with my brother,
Jean-Claude.
If you guys are not familiar, he has his own channel, so I'm gonna link that down in the description. He hasn't put up a video in forever.
I post about every day. About once a day?
He hasn't posted in a month.
Around once a day.
Make him post more videos. But he's actually lost about 30 pounds too, so I thought it would just be kind of fun. Obviously, I love my brother and I love hanging out with him, but it would be kind of cool to do a Q&A because I've lost 180, he's lost 30, so it's like
collectively we've lost over
210 pounds. But I think it would be kind of interesting for like to hear someone that has like not lost an incredible like crazy amount of weight that's a little bit more relatable to people that, you know, are trying to lose like 30, 40 pounds. Let's jump into it. So I think in like typical fashion, I always like to answer the very first question that somebody asks. So the very first question, Red Velvet, how did you overcome comparing yourself to other people?
I like to imagine we're all icebergs, okay? So no matter what anyone tells you, you're an iceberg. And the way icebergs work is that 10% of them are over the water and 90% is under the water. And so a lot of the times what we're doing is we're taking our entire 100%, most of it under the water, and we're comparing it to someone's 10% floating above. And the 10% is what everyone wants you to see. So you gotta understand that we're all jacked up and we all have things we're working on. And so what you're doing is you're comparing your 90% under the water with someone's 10% above the water. And when you realize that we're struggling, we're all going with things, it makes people less daunting. And it makes you feel like you don't need to be as perfect as you feel like you need to be.
For me, like basically kind of the same thing is like what we end up doing normally is we end up comparing our bloopers to other people's highlight reels is like the way that I like to say it. Like a way that it's really difficult, first off. Like that is a really good question because it's something that I still struggle with myself. So like I get where you're coming from. The thing that I've done and that has helped me a lot is if I'm realizing that the only, especially like on social media, right? If I'm realizing that the only thing that I'm doing and if I'm looking at someone's post is like I'm comparing myself to them or I'm like getting angry because like they're doing better than me or whatever, I've just decided I just delete that person. Like if they're not really, if the only thing that they're doing is making me compare myself and making me feel bad about myself, I just delete them. And that's helped me out a lot.
If you can have one cheat meal that would forever cause 0 calories, what would it be? Not pizza. People think it's pizza, but I can make pizza fit into a diet. Like I can make that work. What I can't make work is the carne asada burrito from Valerio's. That's just, it's just terrible. You just feel gross afterwards. You feel like you need to wash your face, brush your teeth, do all that stuff after you eat it. So if I could make that, because you can't fit that into like a regular day. Like that ruins your day.
Yeah.
So if I could do that one.
Mine would be from the same spot. They're called Super Nachos. They're incredible. They're just like everything bad that you can think of. Nachos, which are like deep fried chips basically, and then meat and cheese, sour cream, guacamole, beans, onion, yeah, everything is on them and they're so bad for you, but they're so delicious. And there's no way, like with Jean, you can't fit that in. Like there's no fitting that in. So if I could do that 0 calorie, 100%. This question a lot of people asked in like a bunch of different ways, but basically the question is, have you guys always been as close and has fitness brought you guys closer?
Okay, so I would say that when we were younger, we were close. Really close. We both were really into WWF. We were both really into Dragon Ball Z. Yeah. So we were really close. About junior high, I kind of became that like
cool kid.
Yeah. Well,
you were cool. I wasn't cool.
Yeah, okay. So essentially the things I liked, I noticed my brother was liking and it pissed me off. I was like, dude, just be yourself, bro. Like just like I started liking Good Charlotte and be like, oh wow, you like Good Charlotte now, interesting. Yellow Card, Simple Plan, all these people.
I was the younger brother, so like the cool stuff that you liked, I wanted to like.
So like throughout elementary school, that was fun. Junior high, it became super annoying. High school, we were just our totally different people. It was fitness. He was doing bodybuilding and then I kind of started doing bodybuilding because I was like, that's what I was watching on YouTube. I wanted to get more fit. But then
like you saw me lose all my weight and start doing bodybuilding, and then that's when he first kind of even asked like, what do you do? Like, can you give me some tips kind of thing? And then that's when we first started talking, but we weren't, like, we didn't really become close then.
Yeah. We became close through CrossFit, 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, it was, we watched The Fittest on Earth together, and that was like, we hadn't really hung out a lot. We kind of did, but not really. But that was like, we hung out and watched it, and then he did CrossFit with me, and then now it's like,
Yeah.
We're hanging out all
It's
the time.
literally like, it's crazy because like John is literally like probably my best friend right now, and which is annoying because like he's really not that cool, you know?
Not.
I just don't have anyone else.
He's not my best friend though, so it's
Yeah,
like...
it's like that weird
I'm just
situation
kidding.
where like you have a friend that calls you their best friend, and you're like in your head you're like, I mean you're cool, but you're definitely not my best friend. And it's kind of weird.
Awkward.
That's how I feel right now. Is there one thing you regret you did or didn't do when you were losing weight?
When I lost weight, it was really healthy. I think I was in a good mindset. I was counting macros. It was because it was a sustainable, not a crash diet. Like, I think the way that I lost my weight was a very, very healthy.
Well, luckily, like, I mean, this is me kind of putting words in your mouth, but like, luckily you kind of, I guess, like had me to give you advice, because like I had already been through it and made all the stupid decisions that I made when I was losing weight. So I was like very much like, don't do it like this. Like, this is what you should do. And like you just did a good job listening, but then you kind of like, you did it yourself, which is the most important thing. You know, it doesn't matter what someone tells you. If you don't listen, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. A lot of people, what they think they need to do is lose weight before they start lifting weights, or they need to like whatever. And like, I was kind of lifting weights while I was losing weight, trying to like transform my body that way. But I know for you,
for me, this is a hard question because I get this whenever I do a Q&A. People ask this, like, do you regret anything? And like, it's hard because every decision I made has put me in the position that I'm in today, right? So obviously, like, the amount of regret that I have for stuff is pretty low, I guess. But there are dumb decisions that I've made that I do have a conscious effort in making videos about, like helping you guys to maybe not make those mistakes. And like, those mistakes are just literally crash dieting and eating like 700, you guys, I've talked about this before, you know, eating 700 calories a day and just like really restricting myself and not lifting and just doing cardio. And like all of those mistakes that so many people make, I made those. So do I regret them? Kind of, but at the same time I don't, because all of those mistakes that I've made have made it so I can help people like my brother and you guys not make those mistakes, because I know it happens.
you wouldn't ever do it again that way.
Yeah.
But you're so glad you did.
Yeah, exactly. Better with words than I am.
Kyle wants to know, there has to be a bet for who places higher in the open.
Yeah.
100% it's going to be him.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yep. The CrossFit Open is a series of 5 specific workouts that are released by CrossFit HQ that everyone does, puts in their time, and you see where you rank amongst the world.
Yeah.
So the cool thing is, like, we don't expect to be at all in a good spot at all.
Yeah.
Not even close. But we do get to look at our scores against each other.
Yeah, exactly. And we can compare it to like next year when we do it too.
Yeah. So generally, he's better at the workouts that are mental. So that's what the Open is, all mental workouts.
Yeah.
It's all like, do you have the mental fortitude to get through this workout? And for me, I'm like, this sucks, I'm gonna die. And you're just like, I need to get this done.
Yeah,
I need to get this done.
I really have gotten really good with just pushing through like workouts and like really going for it. But I don't know, like, because me and John really are very close in like how our fitness level, I guess. So like some workouts I'll win, some workouts he'll win. So I don't know exactly. But what's the bet? I think I have an idea. Do you want to hear it?
What?
So I think whoever wins or whoever loses, they have to make a video on their channel. It doesn't have to be the whole video, but on their channel they have to say, my brother is more fit than I am.
Okay.
That has to be, you have to put that on your
Like, that's like the title.
Yes.
Or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
All right, so that's what's gonna happen. And the person that asked this is one of our coaches. So during your experience, when did your relationship with food change? Now, this is a really good question. This is something that I talk about a lot, is how bad my relationship with food was, like pretty much my whole life. When I was obese, obviously I ate everything, and like when I was sad, mad, happy, angry, everything, how I coped with things was with food. So obviously my relationship with food wasn't good then. And then when I started losing weight, it was pretty good for a little bit, but then it's turned into me being terrified of food and like not eating enough. And then when I competed, it was very much, I was focused on tracking, and everything I ate, I had to track, and I had to track, and I had to track, and I couldn't eat anything, I couldn't go out to eat, things like that. So I was struggling with food then. And then, like, now it's gotten to a point where I really do feel like my relationship with food has finally got to a point where it's a little bit healthier. And like, I haven't tracked, literally, I haven't had a day where I've tracked since my show in June. So that's like, what, 8-9 months? And I am seriously like really happy with, like, I feel like I can eat whatever I want, and I'm not like freaking out about it. So basically up until maybe about 6 months ago, it's been bad, and now it's finally in a healthy spot. So pretty much up until about 6 months ago is, I guess, the short answer to that question.
My relationship with food never changed. My feeling of power over food did. Once I realized what food is comprised of, what macros are comprised of, and what's in each one and how you can track them, I wasn't afraid of, I wasn't overwhelmed by weight loss anymore. It was really simple. Eat less than what I expend, you know? Now it's like if I am just like, I don't care anymore and I gain 5 pounds, 10 pounds. I'm not like, oh my gosh, like this is gonna be the rest of my life.
Yeah.
It's literally like, okay, well I guess I need to start cutting.
Yeah,
you know, like
that's a really good point.
And it's like, I'm not afraid like I'm gonna keep on gaining weight for the rest of my life. Now it's literally just like, all right, I really need to calm down a little bit, be a little bit more cautious about what I'm eating, lose the weight, and then you just keep on moving. Like it's not this daunting task anymore. I think that's the most how it's changed.
That's huge too. Like once you realize that you can, not in a crazy controlling way, but once you realize how you can control your weight and control food, like it's like that. Like the analogy I've used before is like weight loss isn't this huge dragon that you have to conquer. It's just this thing that you have to do. It's like another task that you can manage easily. It's not this like crazy like, oh my gosh, I'll never be able to do this. So that's a really good point.
Here's a question I haven't been asked before. Does Jean have any loose skin? I don't.
Well, how much weight have you lost?
30 pounds.
A lot of people, obviously for my channel, it makes sense. Like I have a lot of people that ask questions about loose skin, and the best answer I can give to anyone about anything regarding loose skin is genetics. That is such a huge factor. Like that's why I don't sit there and try and preach about like how I know everything about loose skin, because the fact of the matter is I only know what my body has been through with loose skin. Everyone is so different, and like obviously with 30 pounds, I would say most people in the world are not going to suffer from loose skin from losing that much weight. But when you get up to 100 pounds, 150 pounds, a lot of people will say if you lose it too fast, you'll have a lot of loose skin. If you do this, you'll have the most important factor is genetics. That is first and foremost. That's just what matters the most. And then I don't even think losing weight too fast is the next thing. There's a lot of other things: age, sex. You know, all of this other things that go into it matter a lot more than, you know, just like how fast you lost the weight. I think another one that's huge is how fast you actually gained the weight in the first place. Like, have you been overweight your whole life, or did you gain 100 pounds in a year? So a lot of that stuff goes into it too. But like seriously, like if you're only trying to lose 30 pounds, most likely you're not gonna have loose skin. Are you and John afraid of putting weight back on? No,
I'm not afraid of it at all. Like I said before, I know what adding weight means, and I know what it takes to get rid of weight. And now that I've done it, I'm not afraid of it. I know I have the power over it.
The more that you understand what's going on with your body, the more information that you have, the better you just feel about everything in general. So like for me, if I'm gaining weight, like I know why that's happening. I know what I'm doing to make that happen, like exactly what he said. So it's not like there's no fear when it comes, like does it get annoying when like you're gaining weight and like you feel like you're making the right decisions? Yeah, but usually if you really think about it, you know that you're, you know, having a little bit of extra snack, or you're not hitting the gym as hard as you maybe should be. So like it's not a fear, it's more of just like I do what I can. Like if I'm not trying to gain weight at that moment, then I'll do what I can to not. And then if I am trying to gain weight, I know the steps that I should take to gain weight in a healthy manner and not just like throw on weight. Like, yeah. Also, I do want to add to that answer. People ask me all the time, am I ever afraid of going back to where I was? And now that is something that I don't even think about that, because it's kind of the same answer as like the amount of food I would have to eat and the amount of like I would never be going to the gym if I got to that size again. And I love going to the gym so much, and I know how much food I would have to eat every single day to get back there, and I honestly don't physically think I could do that again. So there's no fear at all when it comes to like getting back to 360 pounds. There's just no way that'll ever happen.
I know you both go to church. My question is, how has God and your faith played a part in your fitness journey? My faith is that's the biggest thing about me. You know what I mean? Like that's the most important thing. That I do a whole bunch of things, but as far as my faith is concerned, like it's the lens in which I see everything. So I may not be going to church every single day, and I may not be, you know, I may not be full-time pastor or whatever, but I really try to make sure that the lens in which I see everything is through my faith, through the Bible. It's
kind of the same answer for me. Like I'm definitely not perfect at all, and I would never say that, but like John said, it's like the lens that I see everything through. And then like when I make decisions, especially if it's like a big decision, that's just always gonna be a part of me. It's always gonna be like that moral compass is always gonna be inside of me. So it's always just going to, no matter, even if because it's not like I'm always thinking, like walking around praying and walking around thinking about God, and like if I'm being honest, and I'm not trying to lie here, But at the same time, like if there's a big decision, it's always there. It's just like Jean said, it's the lens. It's like it's just how I see the world.
How you see everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's been huge, and like I wouldn't say that like when I was losing weight, I was thinking like I have to do this because, you know, like people say like the body is God's temple. Like I didn't, honestly, like I wasn't thinking like that. But at the same time, like I understand that I'm able to do a lot better things for God and for the kingdom now that I'm where I am now than where I was before.
How do I get big arms like John? You just gotta get angles.
Yeah, you just have
literally
to,
just
you have to get really close to the camera.
Literally just out angling.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. Just like that.
That's
and
all
then
it is.
also when I first started working out, I only did arms because I didn't know what else to do, so I would do arms every single day.
I don't think there was one question that like popped up over and over on your channel, on my channel, on my Instagram, on your Instagram.
I feel like you have something you want to say. Well, there was one question, and that question is Jean and Sam dating? Who's Sam?
All right, you're in it. Well, okay, the short answer is no, we're not. Okay, cool. Just kidding. I know everyone's been asking, and it's just been really fun to not tell anyone because it's just like, I don't know why I thought it was really fun to not tell people. But to answer the question that everyone wants to know, are Sam and I dating? Yes, we are.
That's Sam, by the way.
This is Sam.
Great success. And well, actually, now that we talked about that, I wanted to introduce you guys to my girlfriend. She's right here. What was her name again?
Dude, there's no one here. There's like no one here.
No one there?
No.
Oh, so I don't have a girlfriend then?
No.
Oh.
Good Q&A.
Sweet. All right. Well, that went really well, and I had a lot of fun. Thank you guys for joining me on it. Thanks. Thanks for leaving me hanging, you jerk. Hey, we should do a skateboard montage.
Let's do it.
1, 2, 3, go. All right, I think that was good. And we are back home. A big thank you to Jean and I guess Sam for being in the video with me. Also, I want to thank you guys. I know I wasn't able to get to all of the questions, but as always, I really appreciate all of the questions when I do ask to do a Q&A. Also, I do want to ask something. What do you guys think of Q&A? How often would you guys like me to do them? I haven't done one in a really long time, so I don't want to do them too much to where you guys get annoyed with it. But yeah, let me know. Again, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. There was one other thing that I wanted to say. Oh yeah, look up what I am.
1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Obey the warning signs, and when there are flashing lights or wigwags, don't attempt to cross until they come to a complete stop.